Hello everybody, and welcome to Flosstube number 10, which is so crazy to me that I've done this already 10 times. My name is Alana. I am Mrs.SmithStitches here on Flosstube and on Instagram as well. Thank you so much if you are a returning viewer. I really appreciate it, and welcome if you're new. And happy World Cross Stitch Day. I didn't even know that was a thing. I saw on Facebook yesterday that Keepsakes was doing a sale. I guess their sale opened this morning, or their online store reopened, I should say, this morning for World Cross Stitch Day. So I thought that was pretty exciting. I may have to do a little order today before I go to work. Today is a Friday, August the 11th. You'll hopefully see this bright and early on Saturday morning as usual. I only have about an hour before I have to leave for work. I'm a little tight for time this morning. I went out and did groceries and stuff just to try to keep on top of some of my, some of my chores. Anyway, so welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. I really appreciate everybody's comments and messages, and you guys are super sweet. I really appreciate it. And let's just jump right in. The last 2 weeks, as per usual in the summer for me, were crazy. I did manage to get a pretty decent amount of stitching done though, so I was pretty excited about that. After I had filmed my last video, leading into that week was our church's like VBS, and so I am the snack lady. I have been the snack lady for many years at my church, and so I worked afternoons like I usually do. And so I was there in the morning until lunchtime doing all the snacks, and then went to work. So it was a little crazy and got very little stitching done. But this past week was not so bad. I worked the weekend, and when I work the weekends, I'm on call, so I can't be farther than 30 minutes from the hospital, and I already live 20 minutes from the hospital, so basically I don't go anywhere. So when I'm home, I can just sit and stitch because I can't do anything. I can't make any plans. So I didn't get called in, which was kind of nice. So I actually did get a decent amount of stitching done on the weekend. And then this week was so far has been a pretty normal work week for me. This weekend is my daughter's birthday on Sunday. We're going to celebrate her birthday. So we have everyone coming over for that, which will be wonderful and fun. And now we don't have a birthday now until, well, I guess September. We have 2 in September. This is sort of our birthday season. The summer months are our birthday in our family. I think most people are born within like April to October, like everybody, there's a lot in there. Anyway, so wonderful. We're excited to celebrate that. And then on Monday, my husband and I leave for our little road trip that we're doing. So we are trekking on down to Maine. We're going to see a concert there on the Friday. So the 18th is the Friday, I think. So we're leaving Monday. We're going to spend a couple days in Vermont because we haven't been there in quite a long time, and it's so pretty there. So we got a little Airbnb there, and then we're going to go on to Maine and do a little sightseeing there. My husband has been, but I haven't, so I'm excited to do a little bit of sightseeing. And then we'll home either Saturday or Sunday. We haven't quite decided. And then the week after that, we're leading into another week of camp at our church. So that's an evening camp. It's our sports camp. So I am the snack lady for that as well. So from that Sunday, so I'm on days, and that Sunday to that Thursday, I'm at the church after work. I do have some exciting career changes happening in my life. I am switching jobs. So I will be at the same hospital in a different position. I'm heading into more of an, excuse me, itchy nose. I'm heading into more of an admin role in our hospital. So I'm away on holidays for a week, and then when I come back, I start training for my new position. So I'll probably train until about the end of September. There's a few different roles that they're training me for, and then I will be on days, pretty much. Not always, like there's a few evening options and a little bit of weekends, but for the most part, I have to reacclimate to regular day shift, which will be interesting. I've done evenings for 2 solid years now, and you kind of get used to it. So I'm looking forward to it, though. I'm looking forward to the change, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let me see. Let's see. What else do I have to say? I think that might be it. I am hoping to make a little trek into Lakeside Stitches, which I believe is in Greenville, Maine. I was chatting with Brandy from B&E Stitchery, and they live in Maine. And it doesn't sound like it's super far from where we're gonna be, a little bit over an hour maybe. So I'm really hoping to get to an LNS. There's not a lot of options. As far as I know, Vermont doesn't have one. I know there's one like south, just in Massachusetts, but we're not gonna get that far down, I don't think. But I'm hoping to get into Lakeside Stitches and just snoop around a little bit. It'd be fun to see to be in an actual cross-stitch store would be lovely. But if it doesn't happen, that's fine. I do have a trip to Hobby House planned in September. So I'm not super worried about it. If we can get there, that would be great. If we can't, that's okay. I'm sure I will do fine at Hobby House. I'm sure that will be fine. All right, so let's hop into my stitching for the last couple of weeks. So I did get 2 new starts. So I have and I have stuff everywhere, sorry about that. I have my cross stitch camp for August. I did start that, and so I am stitching Lucy Beam's Love in Stitches Immortal, which I saw that this was a market release, I believe, this year. And I saw this and I was like, oh my goodness, that is me. I have to buy that. I have to buy that. And I did. And so I am stitching this on, it calls for 40 count crypt cloth from Lapin Loops. I found when I was at Knowledge and Needles in Brighton, Ontario, I found this piece of fabric, which I've now cut down because I'm stitching it. And it is mind-blowing, 32 count Lugana. I don't know who designs it or who dyes it, but it's beautiful. So here I am, this is how far I've gotten. So I'm pretty, I just have the rest of Immortal and then the one little border. So this was a big piece, I don't remember how big it was, and I cut it down. It's so nice and soft. I seem to be stitching on higher counts lately, which is odd for me, and I like it. I'm realizing I really, really am enjoying stitching on the 32 or 27 count. So it's so much, I find it goes so much faster. I don't need the lighting and the magnification and all of that stuff. So I think I'm just finding I'm stitching a lot faster than when I stitch on 40. So here's where I am. It's super cute. These are the 2 called for colors. So let me check. So it's baby spinach and cornflower are the blue and the green. And then I switched this out. This called for lavender potpourri, but when I saw that, it was very purple, and I wanted a red kind of color, a dark red. So I am doing Old Red Paint by Classic Colorworks. No, sorry, Gentle Arts, sorry. But the downside of 2/2 on 32 count is I have run out of thread. So this is why I stalled out. So I have started Immortal, and this is all I have left. I just have one, you can't see that. I have 1 strand left, and I don't think it's gonna be enough. I'm gonna see. I think I'm gonna work on this maybe tonight after work just to see. I got the colors at Anne's, at Knowledge and Needles. But I feel like I feel like every time I turn around, I'm emailing Anne and getting just tiny, a couple of threads or I need to organize myself. So I think I'm gonna be short, just a couple of letters short. And I just didn't really consider how much that would take up, how much the actual letters would take. So I think I'm gonna have to end up with I might wait and see if we do get to Lakeside, and then see if I can pick it up there instead of ordering just 1 floss from Anne. That seems like such a waste of postage for everybody. But we'll see. I'm gonna wait and see on that, and hopefully I'll get that. I think I'll finish the letters, I'll finish the border, and then I'll know if I need to buy 1 skein, I might just do that. Because obviously I want to get it finished by the end of August. It was very quick. It stitched up super, super quick. I loved it. It was a great pattern. It's super fun to stitch. I'm excited to get that on my wall. Okay, and my next new start was actually my Whip Go start. So this is Country Cottage Needlework Silent Night. And I have had this for quite a while. And I actually had this as a 12 by 12 last New Year's Eve and ended up not starting it. I had it ready to go. And honestly, I crashed at like hour 6, I think. I just couldn't get it. I couldn't do it. 12 is too many. 12 is too many for me. So I had this and then I never ended up starting it. And so I put it on my whip go board thinking it would be a whip because my plan was obviously to start at 12 by 12 and I had organized my whip go board before New Year's. And it got pulled and I was like, I don't remember putting that on there. And then I'm like, I've never started that. I knew I hadn't. So I thought, great, I'll start that. So here's my start and super almost to finish. Like this went again. So this is on 32 count Pearl Gray Belfast. So 32 count, so 2 over 2. I'm using all of the called for except the light brown. So the light brown that's in here, it's not showing up light. It looks lighter in person. It was, let me see, it was cocoa. Let me see if I've got it here. And they were so close. Here, I do have it. It's very messy, but I've got it. Let's see. I'll show you the difference as I switch all my floss. Should do this before. Okay, okay. So the 2 browns in this were Wood Trail, which is the letters, and these are very messy. And then the windows and stuff were supposed to be called for was cocoa. Here, let me see if I can put them here so you can see. And they show up, they're almost exact, at least the dye lots that I got, are basically the exact same color. Like they're very, I feel like you can't really see that. My lighting, again with my lighting. Let's see. So here, so they're very similar. And if you look at the picture, I don't know if the picture's pretty small. So it's meant to be a little of a warmer brown. So I substituted the DMC option, which was 869. Here we go. Which honestly, I probably could have gone a little lighter. So there, I substituted the 869. So that's the only thing I did different. I think it's just the dye lots. The dye lots are just, you never know what you're gonna get, right? So, but I think, so I did 5 days on this for Whip Go, is 5 days. And I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm just gonna try to finish it. It's so close. Like I just need to do 2 more trees and a little bit around the door in this window fill in. And then the silent, all is calm, all is bright, and the little border along the bottom. Like it was a very quick stitch. Again, on 32 count, I'm really into the 32 count right now. So much faster for me to stitch on this than I find like a 36 or a 40 particularly. I stitch a lot on 40 because I really like the itty bitty teeny tiny stitches. I think they look great, but it takes me a lot longer. It just does. So this is Silent Night. I think it's so sweet. I'm so excited. It'll be done lickety split and I'll hopefully get that in a frame or somehow finished and ready for Christmas. So I'm really excited about that. So it does not appear again on my Whip Go board. And so I think I'm just gonna finish it. I think this might be one of the ones I actually take on my trip with me. I'm trying to decide what to take. And because I know realistically, I'm probably not going to have a ton of time to stitch, but I would like to take a project or 2 or 3. So we'll have to, I'll wing it. We'll see what happens. I'll probably take more than I'll end up working on because I feel like that's sort of how that works. But I do want to take, what I plan on taking are some of the larger count things because it's easier. And I've never ever tried to stitch in a car while it's moving. Like I've parked and stitched, like if I'm waiting for an appointment or something like that. But I've never actually like stitched while the car's moving, and I tend to get a bit car sick. So I can't read in a car, so I don't think I can stitch either. But we're gonna find out. I'm gonna bring stuff and we're gonna find out. Okay, now, so those are my 2 new starts. And now on to the whips. So I have been working on, this just came out of the hoop, so I'm sorry about that. It's not gonna look, it's gonna be very wrinkly. And it's gonna have a needle sticking out of it, so we're gonna do something about that. Ignore that, we'll just ignore that. Tuck that over there. And so this is the Shannon Christine Design Signs of Christmas. Here we go, we'll ignore the thread hanging off the top. So I'm working on the bottom block, which is July. I have not started August. I'm almost done July. Like I am so close. Just a little bit of the border left and then I can start on the August block. I'm really trying not to get behind on this one. I'd really like to keep up. They are not a ton of stitching and I'm really enjoying it. I'm stitching a lot out of season right now. I've got like fall, I've got Christmas. I feel like I'm doing so well. Normally I'm just like stitch in the season that I'm in. I do find with Christmas particularly is very hard to do because December is not a good stitching month in general for me. It's just, there's too much going on, and they're all wonderful and fun things. Like it's all great, but I do find my December stitching is not fantastic. So it's been really fun to get a couple of things done that I might actually be able to get finished for Christmas, which would be fantastic. So here is Shannon Christine Designs Signs of Christmas. This is a monthly subscription. They just show up in your inbox on the 1st of every month. So there is 9 in total and I'm very excited. The August block is very adorable. So I'm hoping to get that. Done, or at least a good chunk of it done this weekend if I have a chance before we leave. I'm not planning on bringing this with me. I am stitching this 1/1 on 25 count vintage country mocha, and I definitely need magnifying for 1/1. So I'm not planning on bringing this with me, but it is super cute. It is turning out really well. I love those like very traditional Christmas colors. So it's really sweet. So I did at least get July pretty much done. I'd like to get started on August. I'm hopeful that I'll get some stitching time in on this weekend and be able to get that done. Okay, whip number 2 is my Sal, the Sal that I'm hosting with Cara Lee from Stitching is Elementary. And so this is, here, I'm gonna show you the picture. Where'd my, there it is. This joyous season is Plum Street Samplers. We started this on July 25th of this year. So I am trying to keep on top of it. We don't have a set, it's just an open Sal. Anybody can join if you'd like to join in. The hashtag, and I'm gonna put it down here, is Stitch This Joyous Season. But I did not realize, because I'm not up to date on what is happening with Instagram and stuff, that when I search that hashtag, only like the top ones come up now, apparently. It used to be like anything under that hashtag would come up. So if you are stitching with us and you use that hashtag, can you please tag me in that so that I can go and like comment and see your post? Because apparently that is the only way, unless I am mistaken, which is very possible. That is the only way that I can see all of those under that hashtag, which is very frustrating because that's the whole point of a hashtag, is that you can follow it and it'll pop up in your feed, or you can search it. So apparently that is changed. Someone mentioned that on the Colorado Cross Stitchers Facebook group, because that's how Sherry finds like it's like hashtag Cross Stitch Camp 2023 or hashtag the Colorado Cross Stitcher. And apparently that's changing. So anyway, if you could please tag me, like actually like at Mrs.SmithStitches, then it will pop up in my feed, like it'll pop up in my notifications that somebody has used that hashtag. That would be fantastic, because I feel like I'm missing, I don't spend a ton of time on Instagram to start with, so then I feel like I'm missing if people are stitching it with us. So here it is again, now that I've gone through all of that. So those flowers are so pretty. I'm very happy with it. It's lovely. It's going to be lovely. So yeah, I have no rhyme or reason on when or where or when I'm stitching this or when I want it to be finished by. It certainly isn't gonna be finished by Christmas, but I am very much hoping to get like at least a day a week on it. that is my goal, is to get like 1 day per week, or like, when I say day, I mean whatever I'm going to stitch that day. Sometimes it's like 30 minutes, sometimes it's like 3 hours. It sort of depends on the day, but I've really been enjoying it. It's a beautiful stitch. It's a very easy pattern to follow. So there we go. This joyous season. It's so fun. So much Christmas stitching for me. Alrighty, and here's the very, very last, my last whip that I stitched on this week was the Scarlet House, the Smith sampler. So this is my anniversary start. I started this on June the 13th. I had to think about that for a minute. Don't tell my husband. And this is a restart because I didn't love the colors. It is called for silk, and they do have a DMC conversion, and I just didn't love them. So this is the Smith sampler. It's big. It's going to take me forever. And I only got 1 day stitching on this, but I did get 1 day, so that's better than none. And here's where I am. Oh, excuse me. Here's where I am. I don't know how well that's, in person it shows up really well. I really wanted to get to the swan. I really wanted to get to the swan and to get, I feel like the colors, it's interesting because these colors don't seem to be showing up at all, but the other colors showed up just fine. Like true to like in person. But here we are with the Smith sampler. I really like the color choices, like the new color choices that I chose. Does that make sense? Yeah. But yeah, it's really not picking up. It's really not picking up the white, and the white is so pretty, but in person it looks it looks fantastic. It's interesting because it picked up the white on the other, anyway. So here we are, still lots and lots and lots and lots to go. This will be a long-term ongoing project, but I love it. And glad I got a day in on that. I know that once, I shouldn't say this. I feel like every time I say this, I'll be like, I have more stitching time like after next week and after next week. So I feel like once September comes, maybe October, maybe not September, because I'm training in September and we're expecting a new grandchild in September. So maybe not September, but definitely in the fall into the winter months. I definitely do have a lot more time to stitch than I find I do in the summer. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm happy with what I got done the last couple of weeks. It was more than I thought I would, and we'll see. I just don't know what these next couple of weeks are going to look like for me. On holidays, I may have time and I may have none. And then the week after is like work all day at church in the evenings. So I feel like that's not going to be a heavy stitch week. So my next video might not be a ton of stitching. And I work the Friday, and I normally film Friday mornings, so I'll have to film Friday evening. And our uploading here is very challenging with our internet. Although a lot of people have been talking about that. So maybe it's not my internet. Maybe it's because like when I first started back in April, I did not have issues uploading. It's time consuming, but I didn't have a ton. And I've noticed quite a few people are like, my video is just stuck in like YouTube. Like it's not going. So I don't know if something's going on with YouTube. I hope not, because I barely figured out YouTube and I can't figure out if they're gonna change stuff. That's not gonna be good. Okay, so let's move on to my very itty bitty haul, because I never have a big haul. So basically, oh, I guess I could take it out of the paper. My dear, dear friend Anne at Knowledge and Needles is probably so sick of my emails by now. She's fantastic. If you are ever looking, here's her information. If you are ever looking, she is fantastic. This is her. She's in Brighton, Ontario. She does have a store in person. Fantastic amount of stuff in that little store. It's small, but there is a ton of stuff. So if you are in the area, absolutely go and visit Anne, or like do what I do and I just email her and I'd be like, hey, do you have this? Do you have this? And she comes back and she's like, yep, I've got this, this, and this. It'll be this much. I'm like, okay. And I just e-transfer her and she sends it to me, which is fantastic. And I love her. But I feel like all I do is text her or email her, and it's always like, oh, I need this. I need one of this. Or like, I need to get my act together. Anyway, so here's my 36 count vintage country mocha. I plan on using this for at home, because I believe this was the called for at home. Now I'm questioning whether it was Country Mocha, because I think that's a different, anyway, doesn't matter. This is my plan, but I think I'm gonna use the back side. I think I'm gonna use the non-modeled size. Now, I have at home the new Brenda Gervais. It's sitting in, at my P.O. box in the States. So it's there waiting for me to pick it up amongst a few other things apparently my husband ordered. I was like, oh. So I didn't even know that. He's like, oh, we have to stop there. And I was like, yeah, that was my plan because I got stuff there. And so I have that. I'm so jealous that everybody's starting it, but I did order the fabric and I'm pretty sure I saw that that was the called for, but I could be wrong. So this might change, but when I pick it up, I'll be able to look and see. And then my plan was if I was able to get to an LNS while I was on my trip, I was gonna kit it like with all the called for flosses. And I was gonna kit it when I get there. Because I thought it would be kind of fun to do that. We'll see. I might not. I might just send Annalise and give her. She can just send it all to me. But that was my plan. We were planning on picking up the packages on our way. So we'll pick them up first and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. The only other thing I ordered in the last 2 weeks was I ordered a second Nerge hoop. So this is the number 2 because I only have one of the number 2 and it's my favorite size and I use it for everything. Whoops. I wanted a second one just because it's easier to like be able to stick them like in project, I don't really have project bags, in Ziploc bags. So I ordered a second one just to have. They're pretty inexpensive. I think Canadian, it was like $11. So they're not awful. They're not really inexpensive. And I love the Nerge, but I do really like this size. I have this, I have the 2, the 3, and the 4. The 3 is okay. The 4 is gigantic. I think it would be great if you had like a stand. I don't, like I hold this and stitch. I've looked into getting stands, but I like to stitch, like I stitch in a recliner. So like I can't figure out if a stand, like, I don't know. I can't figure out if a stand would work because I sort of lean and like stitch like this. So we'll see. Anyway, there you go. That is my only haul. Upcoming plans. Let's do that. Well, I think this is going to be a shorter video, which is good because I got to go to work. So I have Fall on the Farm is my next whip go. So my camera's shaky. I'm sorry. I keep moving my arms. So my second whip go pick. So I completed my whip go challenge for Silent Night. And then the second number that was chosen was Fall on the Farm. And I can't remember if I showed my Fall on the Farm in the last video, but I'll show it here. And you can see it. It hasn't changed since the last time you saw it. I haven't done anything to it. But I do think that this is going to be one of the ones that I take with me to on my vacation. It is stitched 32 count 1/1 on, it's a fabric flare fabric and I can't remember the name. It's lovely. I love fabric flare. They're one of my absolute favorites. They do a 36 even weave, which is what this is, and it's hands down my favorite 36 count ever. Theirs, no matter what. Like I am doing And a Forest Grew on their white 36 count even weave. It's so nice to work with. So here's my Fall on the Farm. And I think this is going to be one of the projects that comes with me to Maine. I have it all in here in my lovely Ziploc bag. It's all, I'm not pulling them all out. I do have all 9. I'm supposed to work 5 days on it. So if I can get a couple of days work while I'm away, I think that would be, I think that's the best I can hope for, I think. My other project that I'm thinking of taking with me is Autumn Rules. So this is new, it's a new start. I haven't started it yet. This is on 25 count Vintage Country Mocha as well, which is the called for this. So here it is, it's Plum Street Samplers, Autumn Rules. I love this so much. I love fall everything. So I don't know, I'm so tempted, and it's on 25 count. Now I normally stitch 25 1/1, and I'm really tempted to stitch this one as called for, 2/2. I do have a great spot here in my kitchen, and then I could stitch the rest of them because I know there's the Hive Rules and there's Autumn Rules, there's Christmas Rules. There's a few anyway I know of. And then I feel like I could change them out seasonally, which would be really nice. So, but 25 is a big count for me. So I'm like hemming and hawing, like, is it gonna be too big? So I think my plan, I have my DMC. Here we go. Look at me, I'm so professional with my DMC. I think I'm gonna try it and see, because 25 count would be a very easy one for me to do while I'm traveling. And I have it in my pretty bag. And I can't remember if I showed this stuff last. I really should have rewatched my video. I'm so sorry. I forget what I talk about. And I really do. I forget. I've watched so many other floss tubes that I forget what I talked about in my own floss tube. So those are my plans. So I think for my trip, I'm bringing Silent Night, Fall on the Farm, because it's my whip go, and I really want to get that done. I'm going to bring Autumn Rules. I'm not sure if I'm going to start it, but I'm going to bring it. And I think I might bring Immortal as well, just because if I can get all of it finished up into, if I need a little bit of red and I manage to find that red somewhere while I'm traveling about, I would just finish it and it would be done in time for the end of August, which would be nice. So those are my tentative plans for the next couple of weeks. I'm not expecting to get a whole ton done stitching wise in the next couple of weeks, where my hair is very poofy because it's hot. But that's my plans for my vacation. Anyway, I haven't really planned the next week because, again, it's my first week of training and it's sports camp. So, and my good friend who moved to BC a couple years ago is back that week. She's here for a wedding and I'm very, very excited to see her. So we're gonna try to fit in a visit. I don't know where I'm gonna do all this, but I'm very excited to see her. So that is where I'm sitting at for plans. Done haul. Let's see. Let me look at my notes. Let me try to do something with this hair situation. Summer is not good for hair. Like, it's not good. Oh, Flosstubers. Okay, let's do that. So I have done much better this week at writing down Flosstubers that I'd like to mention. I'm pretty bad for that. Part of my problem is I stitch, like where I stitch is like I have my stitchy chair, I have a TV, I have my light and all my stuff. But I watch Flosstube on my television. I don't watch it on my phone or on an iPad or anything. So I can't comment a lot of the times, or I don't have a pen and pencil like handy to write stuff down. So I really tried to be like, you can send it to your phone from your TV. Like if I pick up my phone while my TV's on, they're linked. So I can send it and then I can comment. It's just very time consuming, but I do try because I feel so bad that I don't comment, because I love getting comments. I think comments are the best. So, and I love the comments that I get and I try to respond to every single one of them. And then I feel bad because I watch all these videos and I love them and then I'm not commenting. And I know it really helps the channels to grow if you like and subscribe and comment and do all of that stuff. At least that's what I've been told. Okay, so some Flosstubers that I have been watching lately. Now this is obviously not, like these, I think these are just Flosstubers I haven't mentioned before. Not everyone I watch, because I watch a lot of Flosstube. So there is a new channel out. They just have one Flosstube, and they are the Two Bay Stitchers. So they are Michelle and Cheryl. And Michelle and I have been conversing on Instagram for quite a while now. They're very, 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 very sweet, both of them. And they live in PEI, Ontario, PEI, Canada. So they are Canadian, which is fun. They have a great floss tube. They're fantastic. So I will link all the Flosstubers that I mentioned, I will link down below so that you can just click on it and go straight to their channel. But I was really excited. We've been messaging back and forth and she's like, I'm kind of thinking about starting one. I'm like, you definitely should. So go give them a view. They are the Two Bay Stitchers. They're really funny and they're really sweet. And they have tons of great stitching, so that's lovely. So that is the first channel that I wanted to mention. The next channel that I want to mention was actually a recommendation in the comments. Someone had recommended Chris. So it's Chris, let me see, Chris Cross Stitch. Chris Cross Stitch? So I had a channel, I never watched him originally and he took about a year or so-ish break and he's come back. He moved cross country and I had someone recommend him saying he's back from like his little hiatus of Flosstube. And I was like, oh, great. And I watched his first video and he was fantastic. It was so fun. And then I watched some of his older videos to see, because his first video, he just talks about like his break and when he'll be back and their move and that kind of stuff. So it was really fun to go back and see some of his stitching. He doesn't really do show stitching in this sort of like re-intro video. And it was great. His stitching is absolutely beautiful. So that was fun. It was nice to get, I love when people give me little recommendations because you do miss people. Like I discovered last week, Helen B. She'd never popped up into my home page or anything, my recommended videos. She's fantastic. She has tons of subscribers. Like she's a significant channel, right? And so I was like, never even heard of her. And someone mentioned her in their channel, and I'm gonna remember who it was. Someone mentioned Helen in their Flosstube. And I was like, oh, I should check her out. And I was like, oh my goodness, how have I not, so unless people recommend, you really can miss people. And so that's what I like to do, is to like make sure that I'm recommending people. And not everybody's going to be interested in every single channel, and that's great. Like that's to be expected, right? But it's nice to hear about some different people that maybe you have never popped up into your home or your recommended videos. So anyway, there's another one, Helen B. I don't think she's on my list, but I loved her. I did watch her last week. I think it was last week. So there's Crisscross Stitch, there's Helen B. Go check them out as well. The next one is Cross Stitch Kate. She is super sweet. I've been following her for quite a while, actually. She is, I don't want to say she's super new, but she's new-ish. Let's say that. She has quite a few videos. She's great stitching. She's super, super cute. I love chatting. Like she's just a very sweet to watch person. And she has great stitching. The next person is Handmade by Sarah W. She's relatively new as well. I think she has a handful of videos out. Her stitching is absolutely beautiful, beautiful stitching. So she's relatively new as well. So go and check her out. And then there is Diane. So Diane is Be A Blessing Stitcher. So it's B.A.Blessing Stitcher. And Diana actually sent me a message and asked if I wanted, there we go, to stitch Mighty Acorns together. So I am starting, I didn't bring it down with me. I'm starting Mighty Acorns by Blackbird Designs. It's going to be my birthday start. So that is, I'm going to start it on hopefully my birthday, which is September 18th. And she sent me a message and she said, hey, would you like to start this with me? And I was like, yeah, sure, that would be fantastic. I hadn't really planned on doing a hashtag or anything. We haven't really talked about it yet, honestly. But yeah, so we are gonna start Mighty Acorns together on the 18th of September. So if you would like to join in, let us know, comment down below. Go take a look at her channel. I will link that. So it's Be A Blessing Stitcher. She has beautiful stuff. Her last video, she was doing all kinds of like Christmas ornaments and stuff. She has great stitching. So I thought that'd be fun. So she already had the pattern, but hadn't done anything with it. So she's gonna kit it up. Mine is mostly kitted. There's a few flosses that I'm missing or that I'm going to just convert to DMC because it's only need a little bit. I don't need the fancy floss for that. So yeah, so that's Diane. And one more is Faith. So Faith, her last name is Segal, I believe, S-E-G-A-L-L, I wanna say. And her channel is Faith's Crafty Ideas. And Faith sent me a message and said she does have a floss tube and she has tons and tons and tons of videos, but she's having a really hard time getting viewers. And it's really easy for that to happen. Like there are so many out there, and I don't know how algorithms work, like at all. I don't know how they work, but if you it's easy to get lost in the shuffle, really, right? So if you don't have people like that if you're not getting the views, I think you end up sort of not showing up in people's home pages or people's recommended video pages. So her channel is Faith's Crafty Ideas. Please go and take a look at her channel. Like and subscribe if you're interested. I know it really helps when you like and subscribe the video. So the more subscribers that you end up with, the more likely you are to get into other people's like recommended videos, right? I think that's how this works. So please go and take a look at Faith's channel. She's been doing this for quite a while and just hasn't managed to sort of find her niche there a little bit with her viewers. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. Again, like all of these channels aren't necessarily going to be channels that everybody is wanting to follow, but it's really neat to see all of the different channels that people have and the different things that people stitch. And I actually really enjoy watching people that even, like, I'm not gonna probably stitch half of what they're going to stitch, but I just love seeing it because the stitches are so, so beautiful. I thought of one more that I just watched her kit parade, and that was Megan, the Seattle stitcher, I was gonna forget. And I've watched her for quite a while, and she did this kit parade. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I love that people are so organized and have all of these projects kitted up. And she does a ton of Halloween. Her stitching is absolutely gorgeous. She does a ton of Halloween stitching. And I don't do almost any Halloween stitching, really. Fall, yes. Halloween, not really. And I loved it though. Like, I think it's really neat to see what's out there. That's the thing about the whip parades and the kit parades that people are doing. There's a few people that have done a kit parade lately. And it's so neat to see, because if you don't see it on someone's channel, or if you don't see it on Instagram, those of us that don't have an LNS aren't ever gonna see it. Because where would we, like, we aren't going to wander through a store and be like, oh, this is a neat, you know, pattern, because we don't have that as an option. So I love that. So Megan is another one. Absolutely go. I mean, most people, I feel like she's a pretty substantial channel. So most people are probably already following Megan, but I have been really enjoying my Flosstube lately. And so those are a few people. They'll all be linked below. I'm going to write Megan's name next. I'm going to forget. I forgot Helen B, because I'm not going to remember. And this is how I do my notes at the end. Megan. Oh my goodness. So I have to write that down because I'll forget. And then when I go to add my like description box, then I know whose Flosstubes to add. So that's all my Flosstube watching. And on to the giveaways. So my last video, I announced the giveaways for the Little House Needleworks patterns. So there were 3. One only was claimed. So what I'm going to do is I am going to retell, is that the right word? Who the winners were for these 2 patterns, and I'll give you another 2 weeks to claim. Now, keep in mind, please, I'm not here this week, so I won't get anything in the mail until the last week of August because I'm not here. There was a message from one of the winners, a comment, and I left my email in the comment, but I never got an email from you. So if you won this, please, I'll put my email up here. It is wow, I'm having a hard time with that. Mrs.SmithStitches Flosstube@gmail.com. It will be linked in the show notes below as well. So please send me an email. Don't put your address in the comment section. Send me an email with your address and I'll get it out to you. So the one that was claimed has already gone out in the mail. Another thing, I did just get a message from one of the previous gives. I am having a really hard time with words. One of the previous giveaways, and it was mailed like 3 or 4 weeks ago probably, and she just got it. So mail from Canada to the US takes forever. I actually shipped something to New Zealand and it got there faster than it got to like Nashville. So please keep that in mind. It is on its way. But for whatever reason, it takes forever. I don't know why. Even if I buy stuff in the States, it's the same thing. It takes forever. That's why I usually just ship it to my PO box. It's just easier that way. Yeah, keep that in mind. If I have sent you something, you haven't got it yet, make sure you give it a good couple of weeks because mailing to the States just seems to take the longest time. So here we have, let's see. Oh, I have to switch pages. I'm sorry. Sorry for the rattling. I have it back here. Okay. So, Home of the Brave was won by Debbie Reynolds 9276. So Debbie, if you can send me an email at Mrs.SmithStitches Flosstube@gmail.com, that's going to be linked below. I will get this out to you. Okay. So we're going to put that over here. And the next one that was given was Land of the Free. And the winner of Land of the Free was Cheryl Gokay, Gokay 6364. And I believe Cheryl was one who left me a message. Cheryl, if you're watching, I never got an email from you with your address, so I can't send it out to you. But if you send me an email, I will get this out to you, okay? As soon as, now, these aren't gonna go out now for another like 2 weeks probably, so I am sorry about that because I won't be able to mail until I'm back from my trip. So I do have a giveaway from last week, which is this Birds of a Feather, Curious as a Cat, and the fabric assortment that went with it that was lovingly donated by one of you guys, which was fantastic to use as a giveaway. And the winner of this is, wait, now I've got to go back to my old note. I feel like there's a better way, but I don't know what it is. It is Abby, A-B-B-E, Beavers, 5975. So Abby, if you won this, if you're watching, please send me an email with your address and I'm gonna send this out to you within the next 2 weeks, I would say. So not next week, the week after. I will get all of these in the mail to everybody. And thank you so much for playing along. It's been fun to do the giveaways. It's fun to get emails back from people when they have their stuff. It's fun. Giveaways are fun. Okay, so speaking of giveaways, we are now moving on to this week's giveaways. So I have 2 giveaways here. Both have been donated that I've showed you previously. So the first one is the Crossed Wing Collection. So here we go. There's multiple patterns in here. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a closer up. There we go. So this is this one. And it's just the pattern. It's not the floss or anything, just the pattern. And this one is a kit. So this is Zion National Park. Now, who's the kit from? The Posey Collection, Fine Needlework Design. So this is what this looks like. And this is the chart. And it comes with the Aida and the floss. So it's all together, and the needle. So it's all together. So this is a full kit. Okay, so to, sorry, my camera's really shaky. To enter this giveaway, please be over the age of 18. Please be a subscriber to the channel. Please like and comment on the video, and we're going to just use numbers this time. So this will be number 1. The Crossed Wing Collection will be number 1. And the Zion National Park kit will be number 2. You can go for both, that's no problem. And that, I think, is it. I think that's my video. I am a little bit shorter this time, so that's good. I'm like looking at the clock being like, I gotta go to work. I still have to eat lunch. So that's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. We are done for today. Thank you so much for sticking around for this whole video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I really appreciate it. Go check out some of those other Flosstubers. This is, I've always said, such an awesome and supportive community. I love how people are able to sort of gather around and support each other. I think that's really sweet and really, I don't want to say unusual, but definitely specific maybe to this community. I find the support is absolutely fantastic, even like from people that watch the Flosstubes, people that on Instagram, other Flosstubers, like everybody is so supportive and encouraging, and like I just think that's fantastic, and I'm so grateful for it, and I know all the other Flosstubers are too. It's awesome. It's so fun to be able to get on here and chat about cross stitch. So many of us don't have people in real life to talk about cross stitch with. They all think, all my people think I'm crazy. So it is really fun to get on here and chat and sort of develop this community with people who are also as obsessed with cross stitch as I am. And it's kind of a unique community, maybe? I don't know if that's the right word, but it's definitely unique to us cross stitchers for sure. So I hope you all have a fantastic couple of weeks. I am going to try to post a little bit more on Instagram. I know I'm not very good at that. So hopefully on my trip, I'll be able to post a couple of pictures. I'm really looking forward to a week away. That will be fantastic. And hopefully a little cross stitch shopping, we'll see. And definitely a lot of relaxing. That is definitely our plan. I hope you guys have a fantastic next couple of weeks, and I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.